So today we're gonna look at the latest flagship offerings from both HTC and Sony, the Xperia XZ Premium and the HTC U11. Wow, this looks shiny. This looks absolutely stunningly shiny. The interesting thing is that HTC calls it the silver color. Looks more bluish to me. Yeah, and it's obviously a fingerprint magnet. As you could see before, in the bottom there is no headphone jack on top, there is no headphone jack on the bottom. There is an adapter in the box that allows you to connect from a USB Type-C to 3.5mm jack. But yeah, it is what it is. HTC followed suit with Apple, and that's an XZ Premium. As you can see, shiny as well, and obviously a fingerprint magnet as well. Not as much as the U11, but still it might be quite dirty. So yeah, that's a fingerprint scanner and a power unlock button on the right hand side. You've got the headphone jack on top, yay! You've got the SIM tray and memory card tray on the left, and the home button obviously. So you've got both phones next to each other. Yeah, so here we've got the 5.5-inch display on the U11. That's an LCD5 the display, so no AMOLEDs like in some previous HTCs. I know they always did the LCD displays, but this is LCD as well. So yeah, 64 gig of internal storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM. So that's the OnePlus 3T territory. Yeah, you can create your personal audio profile. You've got the HTC boom sound option, and so on. You've got the Edge Sense, which I will cover in a sec. And yeah, main menu. Doesn't look much different from HTC 10 or even the M9 on the latest Android. So highlights to the left as usual on the HTC. Sense Companion I'm gonna show you later on, because now I'm not connected to the internet. I'm in the airplane mode, so I can run a Geekbench and other benchmarks later on. So yeah, allow HTC Sense to see your phone calls. That's not very cool, but yeah, we'll cover that later on. Pretty sleek phone, I have to admit. That's the Edge Sense. So you squeeze the phone and you can set it up so it works as a shortcut. So you squeeze it 3 times to set it up. It depends on the force you press to squeeze the phone. Here you can pop the balloons. So you squeeze it and you create balloons. Thanks HTC. And yeah, you can set it up so, for example, you can pick up a call, you can squeeze it and it goes into camera, and if you squeeze it again you take a picture like I just did. So yeah, it's quite clever that. And on the other side we've got the 5.46 inch display, 4K HDR display. Now bear in mind that it's the same case as with the Z5 Premium, so it only goes into 4K mode when you play 4K content on it. Otherwise it runs in 1080p itself. So storage 64 gig as well, exactly like the HTC U11. 4 gigabytes of RAM instead of 6, but to be honest, you know, it's a phone. Unless you're a proper geek and you really do want to know how much, and you want to show off with how much RAM you've got, then there is no real benefit to it that much, to be honest. There is some benefit obviously, so some apps will stay open longer before Android decides to close it off. But yeah, you can change the color gamut and contrast, which is quite clever, and for the first time it actually does look like you are making a difference, where like on the XZ for example, when I changed that, it didn't change that much. Yep, so you've got the physical camera shutter button, so instead of kind of gimmicky AdSense, you can just press the button and take pictures like with a normal camera. And now back to the HTC, so let's see what we've got in the camera options. Okay, so we've got a photo which is automated mode, so 9 megapixels in 16.9 or 12 megapixels in 4.3 ratio. So we've got the different settings in the manual mode. You've got shortcut as well to automatic mode in pro mode, the macro and so on. Now the settings, you don't get much settings, and here comes the biggest downside. When you go to the video, you can't record in any other frames per second than 30 frames per second. You don't have such an option. It's 30 frames per second and that's it. Well, with the Sony, obviously, it looks box standard, like the XZ or even XA1. There's not much difference in regards to the user interface on the camera. But, obviously, if you go into the video mode, you can choose if you want to record in 30 or 60 frames per second. And camera apps, 4K video, 30 frames per second, and that's the super slow motion. So how it works, you have to choose the right moment you want to record the slow motion, so you can't do the whole video in slow motion. That's 1.8 seconds of slow motion you can do, and then obviously you start recording. You press the button and it records 1.8 seconds, but obviously that goes longer. So like I said, you've got full HD 60 frames per second. That's obviously an addition over HTC U11 that only allows you to record in 30 frames per second. So now we're gonna run some benchmarks. I've sped it up a bit. So yeah, exactly the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. Obviously the HTC has 6 gigabytes of RAM, where the Premium has 4. But as you can see, the XZ Premium is actually slightly faster. And now we've got the Antutu 3D. Okay, that was, yeah. So I'm gonna put it on a stand so it actually looks way better this way. Stand made from Apple charger, thank you Apple, and I'm actually quite curious to see which one will top that, considering they both have exactly the same Snapdragon 835 and exactly the same GPU, Adreno GPU. So yeah. Now, because both phones have stereo speakers, we're gonna play some really good stereo content. Enjoy, guys!
Here we go. Good evening, Peter. Oh. You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
That is awesome. I can keep that suit?
Yeah, doesn't fit me.
When's our next retreat?
What, next mission? We'll call you. All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the dope for you.
I'm not there yet. All right, good luck out there.
Hey, Peter. You going tonight? Here we go.
Good evening, Peter. You have 576 possible web shooter combinations.
That is awesome. I can keep that suit.
Yeah, doesn't fit me.
When's our next retreat?
What, next mission? We'll call you. All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the dope for you.
We're not there yet.
All right, kid.
Good luck out there.
Hey, Peter. You coming tonight? I can't.
Now, because we've covered the edge sense on the HTC U11, let's have a look at the super slow motion 960 frames per second recording on the Sony. And thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye.